Good morning. Happy Fallout Day. Today's the day, or evening, depending where you are. Early hours of the morning it was a few hours ago. Fallout got released on Prime. And I've been really sort of excited and happy to see how everyone's been reacting so far and anticipating the show coming out. Having worked on it last year, it was for me a dream come true as a gamer myself. It was great to immerse myself in the world, work out what I could do to, be true to the lore and the visuals of the game, and learn what I could about it, and see that realization sort of like, play a small part in that coming to life. Excuse me as I duck around this bit. And so I'm really looking forward to watching it myself. I haven't seen it yet. Obviously, when you're working on it, you see snippets, but it's nothing, you don't get a sense of the stories or anything like that. So as someone who enjoys watching this kind of thing, I'm really looking forward to just going and having a watch of it. I'll savor the episodes over the weekend, I think. But just out here in the woods, enjoying nature, because that's for me been very grounding. And I wanted to talk a bit about what it's like to be like a CG supervisor in the film industry, because I've not really found sort of anywhere that really talks about it. And when I started this a year ago, I was one of the other CG supes who I was close with. She said to me, "Get ready for lots of meetings," and I think that probably sums it up the most out of everything. When you're in the visual effects industry, your day is structured around mainly dailies and rounds. So dailies is kind of you showing off what you've been working on to the sort of the supervisors, and they get to comment on it and then give you feedback. And then rounds is where you talk to production or other supervisors or your leads, and you talk about how you're getting on with the shots, any problems you have. But the rest of the day you're pretty much left to your own devices. Now, it's different for different companies and everyone's experience will be different, but my experience so far as a CG soup has been that kind of like next level up, lots of meetings. So look at the bluebells coming up, so I'm going to get distracted here on the walk. So your day is just full of meetings. So you've got extra meetings, you've got bidding meetings where you're talking with the other soups and production and working out how long it would take to do a certain shot. I mean, your main job is really that step closer to the client and working out what they want and how best you're going to achieve it with the resources you have. So it's very much of a problem-solving job. Now, I guess even though I haven't been long in the visual effects industry, this is only really, 2.5 solid years with a little stint before that, but I have got 30 years of CG experience to draw upon, both in games, commercials, and as a freelancer. You get to, you're always much closer to a client, and you're always judging, how long a job was going to take and how much you're going to charge them for it. So those skills come into bear as a CG supervisor on bidding. You look at the task for a shot, pheasants, and you work out, okay, how long is this going to take me? Who can do it? Who do I know can do it? What is going to be the technical difficulties of the job? And you try and estimate how long that will take, and you feed that back to your VFX supervisor, discuss it with them, you talk to production about resources and things. And it's those meetings that take up a lot of your time. And then the reality of that is you're actually in the dailies giving feedback. You're in meetings with the clients and you're getting feedback from them, and you're passing that feedback down the chain. Look at all these bluebells. Isn't that amazing? A perfect time to be out in nature. One thing I did find is my stress levels as a CG soup was markedly higher than when I was sort of more of a regular artist. I think it comes down from that feeling of responsibility. You've got to try and work out, not only, you're working on shots yourself as well, and you've got to work out how to, how everyone else is doing, and whether we're going to actually, you've also got, you're directly talking to the client and working out, okay, well, what do they want? I need to meet their schedules as well, and you want to do the best job possible. So it's a lot more, I guess, pressure, I would say, a lot more responsibility. It's so nice to be out here. I'm glad I got up early to come out. So with that, it comes a lot more stress and trying to organise everything, and so that's where all the meetings come in. You're talking with the client, you're talking with your other supervisors, and you're talking with your team on the project, and trying to sort of brief them and get them, making sure that they're sort of doing what they need to be doing, giving them help where they need it, and making sure that everything lines up as well. That's a really difficult thing I hadn't really anticipated, is, okay, I need to make sure that, so-and-so thing in modelling has to be done before so-and-so can rig it, so before so-and-so can then animate it, before so-and-so can light it. And so you've got to kind of have all those, for want of a better phrase, ducks in a row. Having production helping out with this is, that is their organisational skills are so valuable. I would be lost without a decent production team. I'd also be lost without a decent 2D soup and a decent VFX soup. So basically the structure is, you have, in a small scale, you have the VFX supervisor is overseeing the whole show, with like eyes on how things are going to look and how everything's going to work. And with an eye for detail of everything. And then you have your 2D soup and your CG soup, and obviously there's the CG soup, obviously all the creating of the CG stuff, and the 2D soup is all the compositing side of things. So they have their own individual areas of expertise, which they then, that triangle, help each other to sort of advise and work out how you're going to do the show. And alongside that, you have your production coordinators and everything, and they're all, to do with sort of scheduling, budgeting, and all that side of things, which as a freelancer, I was so terrible at. But, when you're in a company, you have people who are doing those things, and it is invaluable. It really is. And so it's that core team that really sort of makes a project work. And so I was quite surprised. I was still able to do shots and still actually actively create 3D stuff. Maybe the nature of the projects I've been on at the moment. So maybe other shows and other things will have more meetings and less hands-on contact. But I was able to at least, roll my sleeves up and get in on some shots, especially at the early sort of layout stages, just trying to work out the bare bones structure and things like that. But it's been immensely rewarding. So even though it's been more stressful, I would say the rewarding side of it is also balancing that out. In terms of hours and things, I'm really not a fan of doing extra hours. So I will do as minimal as possible, because it's not good long term. It's not good for anyone's productivity. So I'm very conscious of that. From my experience in games industry and crunch time and things like that, it's soul destroying. And so I would try and make that more of a thing as much as possible. Obviously there are times when you do have to sort of get a bit busy, and you do have some later evenings, but I try to keep that to an absolute minimum if possible. It's I'm a big believer in, work's your work, but it's not your life. There's other stuff to do outside of that, and being a CG Soup is kind of part of that, is kind of leading by example, really, and sort of like encouraging people to you know, do the best job they can, but not get so overworked that they can't do a good job and they're getting stressed out themselves. So it's a really difficult balancing act. Excuse me as I focus on all this mud down here. But, oh god, that's a big one. I would say it's immensely rewarding. Being a CG Soup, and my experience so far has been really good. To work on a show like Fallout has been really nice to see it sort of from the early days coming through, and now it's on the day of release. It's just it's great to see people's reactions, and it doesn't even matter if it's not loved so much. I mean, it would be great if it is, but just seeing the anticipation and seeing all the different departments working together to promote it, and I think it's a lovely process to be a part of, and I really look forward to doing more and more of that kind of thing. So that's it. I mean, if you have any questions about the visual effects industry and you know what it's like, and even from different sides of things, or games or anything, you know, please do ask. I'm happy to share my knowledge as to what I know and what my experience is, and I know it's a very turbulent time at the moment with the industry as a whole, and there's a lot of job uncertainty which brings its own stresses, which I've talked about already in other videos, but that will pass too, and then we'll have another period of production coming through and shows to work on, and I'm really hoping that if this is successful, we're going to have a flurry of game franchises being made into TV shows, because as a gamer, that is, you know, that's perfect for me. This is the perfect time for me to be in the VFX industry. If I can be involved in projects like this, I'm happy. You know, this is my bag. I'd love to carry on doing as much of this as possible. So long may it continue, shall I say, and I hope we get lots more shows. If you are watching Fallout, I hope you enjoy it. I've really enjoyed working on it, playing a small part in the production. I'm looking forward to watching it myself, and let me know what you think, but enjoy it. If you have any other questions, please do ask. There's only so much I can answer in terms of like what's specifics and what I have an NDA over, but I can at least talk about the general process, or what my experience is in general. So yeah, don't ask me specifics, but please do ask me questions. I hope you enjoy the show, and I'll see you very soon.